Sexual abuse in ethnic minority communities has often been pushed down and ignored, wiped away. Children come from families who, had grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, next door neighbours who have been sexually traumatizing them for years. But it was never ever brought out to the surface for so many people. There's a Me Too campaign, and in that Me Too campaign, it's mainly women. But what about the men? What about the men who have been sexually abused and don't talk about it? R. Kelly says he was not affected by his sexual abuse. Welcome, my name is Desiree Shaw. I'm a psychotherapist and I vlog and podcasts and make videos on mental health. Welcome to the Tortured Superhero series. Today I'm going to talk about a particular superhero in music, R. Kelly, the superhero of RnB. He made tracks that brought through sexual healing, family feel-good, the fun movie type sing-song cheating songs, which had this amazing cinematography and doing all sorts. It was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. His contribution to music was absolutely amazing. However, he has been on charges for alleged child abuse. Did he do it? Unfortunately, I believe that he did. And I say unfortunately because it's not a nice thing to think that somebody who is a superhero, in my eyes, could do such a thing. But he did. Purely because there's a hell of a lot of women talking about what he did. And there's a lot of young girls. And why were they in that position in the first place? Why was it so pushed down and ignored that R. Kelly was doing such things? Well, I'll tell you why. Sexual abuse in ethnic minority communities has often been pushed down and ignored, wiped away. Children come from families who, had grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, next door neighbours who have been sexually traumatizing them for years. But it was never ever brought out to the surface for so many people. There's a Me Too campaign, and in that Me Too campaign, it's mainly women. But what about the men? What about the men who have been sexually abused and don't talk about it? R. Kelly says he was not affected by his sexual abuse, and I don't believe him. I believe he was affected. He was mainly focusing on young girls, and he was in a position of power. Sexual abuse is about power. It's about abuse of power. It's about the predator gratifying themselves on somebody who is naive and unable to manage their own beliefs and understandings about sex. So R. Kelly, from a very young age, did not even know what sex was about, which is why, as he rose to fame as the superhero of R&B, his notoriety, his fame, his fortune, his superheroism took over. And what do we do when we have a superhero? We put them on a pedestal. R. Kelly was placed on a pedestal. He had all of the availability to do what he did. Mentally and emotionally, he wasn't stable. Mentally and emotionally, he was completely, for want of a better word, gassed up, high on his own supply, and able to provide himself with what he needed to gratify himself. So people were giving him their children, and he was taking it. And he would justify it in his head. Not every victim of abuse becomes an abuser, but most abusers were victims of abuse. In R. Kelly's state, that is the case. And unfortunately, the superhero that we once came to love and respect is now losing his fame and his notoriety and his respect because these are the acts that he did. R. Kelly was a child at one stage. However, his innocence was taken, and as a result, he took the innocence of so many. So why do paedophiles target children? Why not just go and find yourself a prostitute? Why not find yourself an adult? Why particularly a child? I'll tell you why. Power and control. And the fact that that child cannot reject you. We all seek to be accepted and approved of. And in that particular position, as a predator, that child doesn't have a choice. So R. Kelly didn't have a choice, and he abused based on him having a choice and being able to choose for others. Based on his notoriety and fame, people allowed him to, hoping that they would gain something. But it's not okay. And just because he was abused doesn't make it okay. It's common for most men not to actually take notice of their sexual abuse. Because for some men, if they've been abused by men, the worry is that they think that they could be gay. And that does sound quite ludicrous, but it is extremely true. When a man is abused by a woman, sometimes they actually don't realise they've even been abused. I actually do suspect that is the case with R. Kelly, because I've heard it time and time again, where a man in his prime has said to me at 13 years old, he was dating women that were 30, 40, telling me how that he was in control because he's a man. He was the one in control. I had to explain, just because you are male and the woman is older than you and you are younger than her, doesn't mean you're in control. You're still abused. Abuse is abuse. Abuse is when the adult, the person who knows better, who can manage themselves better, actually takes advantage and control over the person who doesn't. When you're 13 and you're 14 years old, I do not care how much of a man you think you are not grown. And if somebody is having sex with you at that age, no matter how much of a woman you think you may be dealing with and how much of a man you think you are, you're still being abused. It's really common for young men to believe that if they are with an older woman, they are the man. And I wonder if R. Kelly felt that. And I wonder if he felt that he was the man, and the confusion and the conflict confused him so much that he went forward and continued. Now, this is not an excuse, because abuse is abuse and it is not okay. Also in the case of young boys seeing much older women. That is abuse, that is sexual trauma, and it is not okay. R. Kelly was once a superhero for R&B. And his music will most undoubtedly remain and be known for years to come. But he will also be remembered for being a sexual predator. If you are worried that maybe you were abused at 14, at 15, at 12 by a woman, but you weren't sure, and it's triggered you mainly because you're aware of your own sexual identity, possibly even confused, not sure what you're doing. It comes out in the way you deem yourself when you're having sex with somebody. It comes out in the way that you deal with the opposite sex. Notice how you feel, and notice if you're still feeling that you are the victim who needs to overcome. Because if that's the case, and you're seeking power, then you're in need of support. You can contact me via my website. Find out how you have been affected. Check your levels and your own anxiety and your own depression, your own anger, your own jealousy, your own stress. Find out how your emotions are working for you or not working for you. Everybody has the right to be comfortable and actually deal with past historic demons and the platform to deal with sexual trauma, particularly men who do not identify as victims, who will not show their hand at having been hurt sexually. We're all only human. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Desiree Shaw, and I'm on a mission to change the world one thought at a time. Men are in need of mental and emotional support, recognizing that they are human and they have feelings too. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and look out for my podcast on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. My name is Desiree Shaw, and you can find out everything that you need to and want to on my website, DesireeShaw.com. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the Tortured Superhero, and there will be more to come. Bye for now. R. Kelly, legend of RnBT.
What?
RnBT is the
What?
therapy that I use. It's CBT. The RnBT is the therapy. So
What is
legendary of RnBT. R&B. R. Kelly was once a superhero in ReBT. ReBT? I keep doing that. Yeah, that's R. Kelly done.
Nice.
Yeah, that was alright now.
Yeah, RBC Kelly, yeah.
ReBT.